Hey YouTube, this is Tim. Making this video today after a lot of frustration around getting the Mod Live heads-up display. Um, I didn't put it into a Recon Ready goggle. I actually just took a cheap pair of Amazon goggles and cut out some parts of the side and actually managed to get the whole Mod Live into the goggle pretty cleanly. And there's a few things that frustrated me getting this set up, and I wanted to just kind of go over some of the hurdles I found so far and show you where I'm kind of gluing down the last little bits of where the mod connects to the goggles. I don't plan on taking these out of the goggles for now, so I'm just kind of tacking them in with hot glue. We'll see how it looks. I'm going to try and make it as clean as I can without looking too crappy. But they fit over my eye pretty well. The mod unit is... Right. I gotta get used to this. The mod unit is right underneath my right eye, right here. There's no light that actually goes through it, so it's just kind of a screen that sits a little bit below your vision. And let's see if I can get a close-up on the camera here. So the screen's kind of coming into focus. I have it powered down now so you wouldn't see anything coming through, and it might look modified, or magnified when we try and do this again in a minute. Yeah, so this has a magnetic lens. This is an outdoor master goggle off of Amazon.com. It's like 30-40 bucks, and then it has a magnetic faceplate or lens. Pop it right on, and you probably wouldn't even be able to tell that there's actually a HUD system behind the goggle. So it's pretty discreet. It's actually, if you look behind the strap here, this is the sticking out end of the goggle. The sticking out end. The end that's actually just has a charging port here and a little power button that you probably can't see yet. But I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. Just hold down the power button for a second. We'll see if we can get the lens off here. And I'll see if I can get some of the screen in focus. There we go. Yeah, so it looks like kind of like a LCD screen that sits kind of in perspective, I would say. I think online they say like 9 feet away from you or something like that. 5 feet away from you. But it doesn't hurt the eye too much. It's kind of like a GPS. Once it starts up, you have that button you always have to click. And it comes with, if you've done some research, it comes with a little remote that uses a little thumb battery or little cell. And it's just a pair of buttons that is Bluetooth, I think, and syncs up with the mod as soon as it turns on. I did actually have to do a firmware reset to get this whole thing to work, or just to do the right steps in the right order on a fresh phone connection. So if you mess up the first time, it's best to just go ahead into the settings menu and go and do that factory reset. But once you kind of get through, there's a couple other YouTube articles that I might add into the comments below that explains kind of the walkthrough on the iOS or whatever OS it is that runs. I think Mod might have called it an iOS, but it was definitely like a 4.0 that came out in the last year or so for their newest product, which is like a jet headset for people who want to run around with sunglasses with a HUD. But that's a little bit... This is a little bit more discreet in my opinion, because you could probably never really tell that there's a HUD in here, and it's kind of useful when you're on the mountain and you don't know what time it is. Has some cool features like augmented reality, so like as soon as I get to a resort, it'll load up the trail map and it'll actually show me where I'm going on the trail, and I can actually look around and find different points on the mountain if I'm ever at a crazy big resort. But for me, it's a lot of just making sure I don't miss an important call or a message, which once I sync up my phone, which was the hardest part of this, I'm able to see that on the screen. So yeah, I tacked down 2 sides of this with hot glue behind me. I'm going to tack down the other 2 sides here. But the hardest part out of all this was getting it set up with my phone correctly. What I didn't see mentioned in any manuals was you need to set up a pair with your phone device first through the Bluetooth menu. It's not exactly presented to you straightforward. There is a note on the OS where it points you back to the settings menu, but I recommend just going to the settings menu first. And from there, you can set up that Bluetooth pair initially. For me, it just popped up on my phone where it said, do you want a pair? I hit the button, hit it on the headset too. You need to do that. And it'll say paired but not connected on the headset, and it will show up as a paired device on your phone. From there, don't try to tap on it and connect to it, because then it completely messes up the connection. That was what took me about a day or two to kind of figure out after getting this. So once we go and make that Bluetooth pair and we leave it alone on the phone, with this model and just this model, the Mod Live, you want to download a Mod Live app. You'll see if you start going through a lot of the sites, there's a Recon Engage. And the Recon Engage site is only for the Snow 2 and the Jet that I was talking about before, which are kind of like the sunglasses. So you're going to want to download the Mod Live app, and we got the first pairing done, and then on the mod you're going to want to go back to the phone smartphone setup menu option, and you want to go in there, select whatever type of phone OS you have, iOS versus Android, and I used an iPhone 6 Plus running iOS11, and I was able to get this connected. And there is a pairing step that you need to do with this mod app every single time that you boot this up. So from the smartphone connection menu, we select our iOS or Android, and then it will kind of go into another prompt where it'll tell you basically you can't use the remote after this. If you mess up, you have to power it off and start over. So you say okay, your remote powers off, and then you actually go back to your smartphone at this point. And this is kind of what you would see normally in every single connection before you get on the mountain kind of thing. We go back to the Mod Live app on your device, and from that Mod Live app you will want to hit the big button that's right in the center, at least on iOS, that says pair with Mod Hub, or a HUD. It'll go through the steps, it'll look for a device, it'll prompt you every time it sees a device. The two devices it'll go for is the mod in the goggles, and it'll go for the remote. For me, I took the remote and put it on a pair of North Face gloves. Just use a tightening strap that they had, and I got some wiggle room, but I know it's not going to come off because this is looped over a couple times. So I haven't tried it yet. I haven't tried the whole system yet. I'm going to this weekend, but yeah, I like it so far. It turned out to be working. Once you hit the pairing on the phone, presumably as long as all the other steps were done in the right order, I was able to get this to work, and I've gotten to work 3 or 4 times tonight. I was kind of freaking out before, thinking I was never going to use this other than the GPS stats that you get with it without any type of phone connection. I don't believe you'll get the navigation like the resorts maps without actually pairing with the Mod Live application every time, because it needs to pull it through your phone. So besides that, I'm going to test it out this Sunday, a couple days ahead, and see how it goes. Thanks for watching. Please, if you have any comments, questions, or want to contribute to this unsupported device since I think 2013, let me know. I don't see any firmware updates available for it. I don't see any real patches that are coming out, but it is still working if you would like to get the device. Thanks again.